Welcome to Nigla's group of companies present the Tyson Talkshow Season 5, co-powered by any departmental store, our beauty partner New Look Unisex Salon, media partner Arun Bhumi and the Spark News, and hospitality partner Hotel Pibbs and Obsidian Blue. Good morning viewers. Today we have a very special guest. She is the person behind India's first pure kiwi wine, Naara Aaba, under Lambu Subu Food and Beverages. Please welcome Mrs. Tage Rita Tage.
Thank you, Tomo.
You're welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I just traveled back from Delhi and then I'm thrilled to be here.
Okay, we're so glad that you're here because we've been scheduling on and off again and again because you have such a busy schedule.
Yes, like for a few times we have been in contact, but then like I really couldn't make it. But today I'm glad at the nick of time we are here.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted to know, watch your interview because a lot of people were, Naara Aaba ko kaun banaya hai, uske piche kaun hai, what is the entire thing? We saw you on national TV at the Sharks, but uske alawa bhi, a lot of people were like, wo to apna pitching, they went for pitching in for their own promotion in a way or वो के लिए, but Arunachal पे तो उसके बारे में कुछ इतना पता नहीं है, so a lot of people were excited and wanted you to come here.
Okay, that's exciting actually, and so happy that finally our people, they were eager to know about our work, our initiative.
Rita ma'am, please tell us briefly about your who you are, what and where you have studied from.
Okay. So it is a brief one. So my childhood, I spent my days in Zero Valley itself. Like I started my schooling in the year 1985, I believe so. So there's a school called Lal Bahadur Shastri. So yeah.
Was it in Zero?
Yeah, Zero.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like one school which I think it's semi-private. So like we all went with school uniforms. I mean, well dressed, with necktie, with school bags and all that. So
sounds
that was
elite.
Yes, that was sort of. So my parents had me there, and I just studied 2 years there, nursery KG, and thereafter I went to a convent in North Lakhimpur district, and it's called St. Mary's School. Okay. So they have a convent run by these Catholic missionaries. So there I studied maybe another 1 year. Then I came back to Zero, and after 1 year again I went and studied in Assam again, where I completed my class 10 exams there. It's St. Javier School, Harmony, and I studied there from class 4 to 10th. I was living in convent with again with Krishna missionary sisters there. So and after that, soon after my class 10th, I went to Nearest.
Okay.
So every year, like now also we see there's an entrance exam that the institute conducts, and then I got selected, and then there it took me 6 years to complete my BTech in agricultural engineering, and that's all about my education so far. Okay.
You were already working as an engineer in RWD before you went into this business, entrepreneurship. So what change came to your mind that you were like, I'm gonna change my entire work?
See, this entire thing that we are doing, it started maybe in the year somewhere in our mind in the year 2013, 14, 15 like that. So it was a long-term plan. So my husband actually, he wanted to set up a winery, and he loves wine. So he used to bring wine in our home, and then we used to toss it over dinner, and we used to discuss so many things. So and then we started discussing like what if we have a winery, because we have a lot of kiwi fruits in our valley. That's what we started discussing. I mean the discussion itself. Then thereafter we straight away went into like how to actually make this happen, how to set up the winery. And then that's how we, I mean, initially, like I was a bit reluctant actually, because during my college days we studied about winemaking. There was a chapter on winemaking, and we could visualize like things would not be very smooth and very easy. So I said, like, we have small kids, so won't be, you know, I don't think it looks feasible enough. But then since he was very like you know, strong with his idea, so then we went forward. And but yes, it's not only the idea, but one thing that we did was like we did our own, you know, kind of research, where we went back to village and then we did some sort of research in terms of physically meeting the farmers, looking at the orchards and the scenario. So that time, like 2015, 16, I believe, like you know, I had two young daughters, very small, you know, they were just toddlers. So I took them along with me to meet the farmers, to, you know, visit their orchards, and I really found that, you know, a lot of fruits were there. I mean, it was true. So many people were telling at that time also, like, fruits were just rotting and just no buyers, something like that. So I went and visited, and it was so true that, you know, mountains and mountains of kiwi fruits were rotting at that time. One particular garden that I visited, and then likewise there were other farmers also at that time, like they were very sort of worried and anxious about their produce, and they, like, that was like one reason why we thought ki chalo, let's do it. And other reason was like the first and foremost reason would be like we both are a very passionate and self-motivated person. So that was one reason, like, chalo, we have idea and we know how to get it done, so let's try. That's what it was. And then we started straight away. And yeah, we started with, you know, going to approaching the bank and then sharing our ideas. They liked it, and then
yeah, regarding this, like, for a business like this huge, like, how did you manage the financial, help and resources?
Okay, so yeah, see, like we both are first generation, so our parents didn't go to college. Of course, my father, you know, he went to school and then all that, and he gave us good education and all that. But then, like, setting up a winery, you know, sort of thing was never, you know, like, I don't think, you know, my parents would have ever imagined that we would do something like this, because their one ultimate aim was
offline coaching for APSSB exams 2024 by Nesol in Itanagar. We are located near Hanuman Mandir, Ganga Market, Itanagar. This course includes 4 subjects based on the latest APSSB syllabus. Number 1, General English. Number 2, Elementary Maths. Number 3, General Knowledge with Arunachal GK and Daily Current Affairs. Number 4, General Intelligence and Reasoning Ability. We are starting new batch. Call the number given on the screen to know more about the ongoing batch, its fee structure and its class timing.
like, as always, like, you know, study, then get into government jobs, you know, settle, be secure. So that's all, especially for women. So with regards to finance, like, see, we had to put everything in the paper, our ideas. So at that time there was a new policy made by the state government. It was called the Arunachal Pradesh State Wine Policy 2015. So that was one big motivation for us, no? Because like a lot of things were written there, like so many things would be facilitated, this would be free, that would be free, this, that, and so like we got motivated, like we said, this is so encouraging, because if government is doing such things, no, then I mean, why should we, you know, limit ourselves? Why shouldn't we go forward with our dream? Seize the moment, exactly. So with our ideas, on a paper, like we approached a bank, and they liked the idea.
Okay.
Also, the thing is that we also had, a good rapport with the bankers, and then they had the trust and confidence in us. So right away, things got clicked, and then we started.
Okay.
That's how.
Okay. By the way, congratulations on receiving the Nar Shakti Puraskar in 2022.
Yeah, thank you.
That was a big, and because it's quite prestigious when it comes to empowering women and then women employment and entrepreneurship.
True.
That was a big, what to say, a sign from God that you were doing a good job, and it really inspired quite a lot of people, I think.
Yes, it should
Young
be,
generations, they look up to you, ladies,
Okay.
especially.
Okay, so yes, with regards to Nar Shakti Puraskar and or be it any other sort of recognitions and encouragement, those had always come as a surprise to me. At the last moment, I used to get calls and letters, and you have to go come and receive this award sort of thing. So it was really a pleasant surprise. And then now when I think about it, I think yes, I should be really be happy about it. And yeah, and also it adds up to my responsibilities of how I should be going forward in future. That is what it is. And yes, knowing that younger generation, maybe especially women, or even the youths in general, if they are looking up to of how we are doing, and if they are convinced with my activity, then I'm so happy, and I'll try my best to come up to
I'm
the
saying
next
this
level.
because when you see the stretch of Itanagar to Bandardua, you'll see most of the businesses are local businesses are done by women. They're the in charge. But at the same time, when you see at the pyramid of business on the top levels, you don't see like women in big power positions when it comes to entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship, or even politics for that matter. लेकिन यहाँ पे business wise everyone is like women empowered है, हर जगह they're the in charge. But at the top of the pyramid, when you actually talk about it on bigger scale, you don't see much women. I only see few people, and you're one of those few people. So why is that? Why do you think ये society में हम लोग का women क्यों नहीं है? सबको मतलब, but in general we all say नहीं, सब लोग they're the in charge. But when you see the pyramid, we hardly say any woman at the top.
See, hearing this, I think one way it's a good news. On the other side, it's very saddening also to know. Good in a sense that so many women are out there. They are in the open spaces, and then sitting confidently, selling their product, or venturing into entrepreneurship. Now again, when it comes to, as you said, like when you look at the ladder or the pyramid, like you don't see women there, like. So I think the gap is because like women in our society were simply not encouraged to take up something we assume to be a risky job. So that is what that created a gap. But I believe that in terms of capabilities, women are like we are at par or equal with the men folk. So in the coming days, I'm sure like we'll come forward, and then yeah, there'll be more number of women coming up, and then be in a position where they can make their own bigger decisions, and then also lead people. And this is one thing I always say, like whether I used to think sometimes I used to think whether because no one knows the future, but we live in hope with positivity. So I used to think like whatever be it, if there's anyone who wants to come forward and do something on their own independently, like we parents we should encourage them. That is what is important, because simply like when it comes to power, as you said, like it's the the economy or the financial strength that really counts. So it could be someone maybe women whom we see as vegetable vendors. They might be they might be just maybe like feeding themselves, their family. But to really go forward, one needs to be, they need to have sort of tools, with them, we say like they need to be skilled enough, or they need to go forward, and they really need to come forward into this mainstream or the formal line of, the business. That thing, we really have to come forward and then, take chances. That is what. And for me, like I've always like whatever I do, not only in this, like be it with my, family and friends or any other, responsibilities that comes to me, I always take it very seriously, and then I give my best. So, and that apart, like as a woman, I think there are also obstacles, that that is that does not come naturally, but is also sometimes created by the surrounding. So that thing, I think we have to together. It's not only the woman who has to put in effort, but also men folk. Men in terms of, we have brothers, we have our own parents are there, so that they need to realize and then let the women come forward. So it's the women who is going to change the society when they are given an opportunity, equal opportunity.
So Zero in particular, or Arunachal as a whole, is not unknown to the process of winemaking. We all know about it, but what makes it different? Or what Naara Aaba, like how is Naara Aaba different, a commercial brand different from the traditional winemaking of Arunachal?
Okay, तो commercially जो है wine making तो it was not there. I mean nowhere in Arunachal it was there. There are some factories are there, like where people bring things from outside and then manufacture or bottle it. Those things are have been happening and has been established already Arunachal में बहुत पहले से. But from an indigenous यहाँ पे एक startup and then using locally available raw material like fruit, fresh fruit or grain or whatever, वो नहीं था, that is for sure. So for us, like when we started, as I explained previously, एक necessity generate हो गया था कि we wanted to do something, we wanted to try, and there was like एक environment ऐसे था कि जो हम लोगों को push भी किया in terms of this Arunachal Pradesh state wine policy that was established. Then we had a lot of kiwi fruits, and that apart, like we both, me and my husband, being a very sort of kind of adventurous, I would say, the next level of being passionate and motivated person is the adventure or the hardworking, whatever. So that thing we had already, and then we started. And with Naara Aaba, see, like we right from the beginning we wanted to do something of a quality making, I would say. So we source the raw material like the fresh fruit from the indigenous households here, rural households, I would say. Then fruits come from all these the households wherever they have all the fruits, like maybe plum or pear or wild apple, and then kiwi is now a commercial, very very commercial, cash rich crop now. When we started, it was as I said, like it was into rotting, but then the very next year there was a scarcity of fruit, and then we drew a lot of attention from the government agencies and authorities also in terms of coming and giving them farmers a support, training, and then giving them this all the gardening tools and implements, and giving them exposure tours and all kind of things. So this started, and for us with the wine, we wanted to do something really on our own.
Okay.
So and you can understand, like for example, like you have this very beautiful mug there, and suppose you think this mug you want to preserve it and you want to give it to your grandson or a granddaughter or a great grandson, for example, how would you care for this mug, right? This is breakable, we all know, but then if you are thinking of something like you want to preserve it for long and hand it down to to the next generation. So that's how we thought about it.
Okay.
And then in that process, like we wanted to bring out the best quality, and we were a little bit scared. I mean scared in a sense, we were a bit nervous, but then like we we still have the thing like, if we don't do it, how will others, do it? So we have already stepped into it, and then we should be trying. And then we never had, any sort of negativity like, this is not going to be liked by people, this is going to be, maybe not going to sell or something. We never had that in mind. We always said that if we give our best and if we bring out the best, then that's all we wanted. And that was like, in one way good, on the other way not so good, in terms of like thinking about it in commercial terms. Because see, once you make the product and then you have to think like how you're going to sell it, how you're going to brand it, how you're going to do the marketing and all that. We just had, we are going to place this in the market, and then there we go, the next like that. And we never had that like 3-4 times kind of thing, because there was no one who told us, right? There was no one, like no one knew. So it was a surprise for our neighbors, for everyone. But then we kept pushing, and down the line we would still try to only encourage using the locally available fruits. As of now, we are using from Zero Valley and adjoining areas also we have started. And now maybe in future, if there's and I get so many queries from youngsters, like like they want to know about how we are doing, how we started, and from where should they start. Very recently, like I got a mail like very logical questions. Now some youth, I forgot the name, since I was traveling, so I could not answer. And then to answer those questions, now like it would take at least minimum 1 hour for me to think and give them, because that has to be really have to be on one side. I cannot show the kind of challenges that I faced, and my insecurities I cannot show them. I only have to show the positive side of it. But having said that, we have to alert them of the things, like of the possibilities of getting say stopped somewhere, like that. So but mentally I always want people to believe that they can do, they can achieve. That's what. And yeah, that's all about our wine. And yeah.
You have a qualified winer. Who is a qualified winer? Like,
so for us, when we started, see, as I said, like when we went commercial making of this, now we need to have this professional winemaker. That is for sure. We simply cannot do the wine homemade process and then go commercially, because it has this high chance of the quality getting deteriorated. I'm not saying in terms of taste and whatever, because the taste preference is of is diverse, and many people like their homemade wines, which I also I agree to it, because I love the sweet ones, I love the homemade wines, but then when it goes to commercial making, then we have to be thorough professional. See, when you're putting this again, I'm taking the example of this mug, and then you are competing with some other product here, and then you want your product, you want this mug to be sold, okay, as many as possible. Then how do? We have to first assure the quality. Okay, it has to be robust. You have to be confident that this will go in the market and this will speak for itself. So that is there. We have a professional winemaker. Then how do you process? How do you make the wine? So that is one important aspect. And then with a qualified professional winemaker, we have people like MSc Wine Technology, the present winemaker we have, and even the earlier one also. The first we had was like who used to come off and on, visit a winery, do the winemaking, then go back, like that. But now we have a resident winemaker, so they all were qualified. They were like they already were into some other wineries previously, and then later they got recruited by us. And that apart, like we need to have the right machineries and equipments needed, because for a commercial production, no, we cannot just 1-2 jar. It's not like that. It's big tanks, and then to handle the machines and equipments with all the with different methods, and then ways are there. So that has to be someone who is really well equipped, skilled. The level of professionalism required is big. So with that only we get that assurance that quality is there. And see, also like in a homemade wine, we don't have that. How do we analyze the the inner qualities, the characteristics of wine? But in a professional winemaking, we have laboratory. So which is scientifically backed again, like see with all the tools and equipments, they can check the quality, all the parameters of the wine. That is how we go. So if you want to go for exhibitions, maybe national or international exhibitions, we need to have all the certificates, certified by some other again laboratory to let the wine know that this can be consumed by human. And when it is like homemade, it's always like anyone can make it, right? It's just a fermentation, and then you just drink it like that. But when it goes commercially, it has to stand out in quality. And even if anything, like you feel, this is not robust enough, then you have the steps that you followed, and then you rewind that and then do it better. That is the only way to assure the quality. Yeah.
Okay, so there are so many different brands of wine that we have in our country, even including imported wines.
Right.
So when it comes to the market of wine, what is the biggest challenge that you have faced in the industry?
When it comes to biggest, I think see, like initially when we start, like it's very difficult for us to remember, even up school jab jata hai, to learn on rhymes. It takes a lot of time and effort like that. And once you learn that rhymes, and then the next level is like you go for writing, and you go for some other learning like that. So even in this our industry, the beverage industry also, initially what I thought to be of a big hurdle for me, when I gradually overcame it, like then I started feeling कि this was something ये था, like एक small ये था, छोटा मोटा hurdle सी था, like that. So those kind of circumstances keeps coming. But having said that, I would still at this moment I would say this: the alcohol beverage industry itself is very tough. Okay. And I'm not saying this only because it's a male dominated or anything like that, because when I entered into it, I never thought कि I'm a woman, so I should try and challenge because it's male dominated. Nothing like that. I never thought anything of that. But when I got into the system, getting the fund, bringing the machinery, making the wine, and then bottling it, and then thereafter what? The next challenge, the biggest challenge, to enter into the mainstream market, to to sell your product. That is one. Because initially when we started, like a lot of encouragement definitely from the family, our community, and then everywhere, a lot of encouragement for the initiative itself. But in the market there was a peculiar kind of challenge, because here in Arunachal, like see, the concept of this wine, the real wine, that was the commercial wine, it was so different. It was so all like the taste buds and everything was so different for people. Like when we brought out our first variant, like it was not at all sweet, but people like sugar syrupy like sweet wines they preferred, which I actually never knew that those kind of wines existed in the market. Only after people said कि we want sweet wine, then I realized कि okay, that's because see, in the wine, like when you make wine and when all the fructose in the fruit is converted into alcohol, then there's no more sweetness. It's just the alcohol, I mean, it's just the wine and a little bit of alcohol that is generated. So there's no sweetness. But having said that, there can be a pleasantly sweetness can be there. There's a different technique for making that. That is one. And the challenge that I faced was on the the taste buds, the taste palate, the acquired taste already that existed in Arunachal. And that apart, see, like we have we are just one manufacturer. We are just processing. We are just a food processing unit we have, which is called winery. Then what else we need, to go in the market? Like someone needs to have a bonded warehouse. Someone needs to have a wholesale houses, the licenses, and then you need to have so many retail outlets. So that was one thing that we realized after we launched our brand there, because there were already really big and established brands in the market, and then many of the bonded warehouses, they were really very reluctant to let the product move in bulk to their warehouses, because they were like whether this will go or not go and all that. And to some extent I felt like they also sometimes tried not to push our product in spite of demands coming from the retails. That's because they always taught us, they always considered our winery as a maybe some sort of competitor towards their establishment. But I think which is wrong, which is very wrong, because which I know like now they must have many of them, they must have realized also, because we are into processing, we are into making, we are into making the wine, we are not into the distribution or the bringing so many other multiple branded products, companies, and then stocking it and then distribution. So that is again altogether a big
different section,
and I would say like I mean, without that the business does not complete. But see, like not every other manufacturing unit can afford to have that bonded warehouse and then so many wholesale licenses and then retail outlets like that, because that itself is again bigger than the winery itself, the establishment. The process itself is so big, and it's so again like financially it's going to be really draining for us. And to have that again, you really need to have all all the resources in place in terms of manpower, in terms of professional people, in terms of financial resources, and so many things that it's a big establishment again. So they were like they thought of our initiative to be of something crisscrossing with them. But over the years they learned that we are a very authentic, and then we we have a very noble intention of saving the fruits and then utilizing our own energy and our passion into bringing out a product and then placing it to them, because we are not hindering or curtailing them in any way. We're giving them a very good profit margin as compared to other brand that comes. And then also like see, we are very so to say when I say like, I would say we are very very authentic in our making, because we are so transparent. We invite people to visit our winery. We have so many interns coming and visiting our winery, interning with us, processing the fruit and making the wine with us, like that. So those kind of things went out, knowingly unknowingly, things spread, and then people who are in the chain of distribution also, they started liking us and they started understanding our initiative. And that's how like we started. Now we exchange fruits and wines as well. So whenever now there's a fresh fruit in the during the season, so I send fresh fruit along with the consignment. That's how like our relationship evolved over time. So I think but it took us a lot of time and effort over the years. So and see like it's tough. It's yet a tough, because like to go out from Arunachal, be it export or to entering into any other states, now that again takes a lot of effort, and you really need to have patience.
And patience.
Patience, contacts, that definitely is there. And not only contacts definitely it helps, but again like you have to assure yourself now that you are going to stay. I mean, you are a company, that assurance people need that, because we have got people asking like what is your capacity, and we say like we make 60,000 liters per batch, and they'll say, oh, that wouldn't that would just be a 1 month demand for my state, or for my ilaka. So that's too less a quantity, like that. So we have to really establish ourselves, and no matter what the challenges that we are facing, and we need to have like little more patience.
So your company Naara Aaba, which is under Lambu Subu wine and beverages, food and beverages, sorry, is registered in Zero. So so for a company to get registered and to sell their products, I'm sure it has to go through our excise duty, excise department in the state to link it up to the larger country. So how is the process for a company to start up, a startup company to get registered and go through? What are the procedures?
See, this is one question that I got an email recently, as I was telling before. So like see, do you have to have a winery license, you need to have a factory license and all that you'll get it from the department.
Okay.
And then there are, you know, issuing authorities are there, and then yeah, other compliances that you need to have, that is there. Now if you're asking me like to your next question was like you have to, how do you go outside, right? So for that also, see, our country, you know, like see, the excise or so to say the alcohol is a state subject.
Okay.
So there's no direct control from the center.
Okay, center. Then
So then every state has got their own different rules and different regulations and policies are there.
okay.
So for me now, recently, like I have again revamped into to Assam. So we sent one consignment to Assam, and for that, you know, regulations were again different. Yes, to the same you know, excise department we have to register ourselves, but again, like so many, you know, rules are there in between which we have to, you know, abide by and follow that. So and there comes a huge cost also for, you know, each of the variant to be registered and your company to be registered. But now, like, see, everything comes online, and the concept of doing, you know, the ease of doing business, which was encouraged during the lockdown process, now that has started, and to some extent, you know, it's a relief for people like with, you know, with pure intentions who want to do business, now that they can, you know, go and do there. Yeah, that is what. And even in the see, our excise department, like in the beginning initially, because there was as such, like we were the first I think the company to have a winery, our own winery license. So that took a lot of time for, you know, even the excise people to understand what is a winery, what does a winery do, and then whether it's accessible or not, and then or how does the state wine policy plays a role into, you know, facilitating the entrepreneur or the product to move into market and all that. No? So there was a, you know, there initially when we started there was a commotion and a chaos, and then people not you know, really understanding what the policy is and how to handle that, because winery and making wine from the fruits, in there they've never, you know, it was never there. And what they have seen was that, you know, people, companies would bring maybe raw material, some product from outside, and they would, you know, mix and you know, maybe manufacture. I don't know the process, entire process, but that's what, you know, they bottle here. They, you know, they some other dusra brand, they bring big brands. They, you know, they do the bottling here. So those concept was there. That was very well established. But for us, we don't bring anything from outside. Right. We use solely the raw material from our own place and produce. So that was the difference, and because of that we are exempted to pay all sort of, you know, excise duties also, because we are buying it from our own, you know, people, and then utilizing our own resources, and that's actually one way, you know, of you know, supporting the government and welfare for the government.
I've mentioned excise department and business because economy, our entire economy is driven by businesses. And for a state like Arunachal Pradesh, we don't have a lot of revenue generation. And with companies like yours, these will really help down the line in the future for revenue generation, for driving the economy, state's economy. So how do you see, just like how the 2015 wine policy came, what more things should come up so as to, you know, encourage our own people to venture into businesses so as to drive the economy?
See, like when we say like direct economy, now you have said like like revenue. When we say it might not be a direct revenue, but for us, like what the government truly understood, especially the policy makers who made the state wine policy, was that like when the fruits are rotting, it's cultivated by the farmers. How much of, you know, energy, the time is taken into, you know, planting a tree, kiwi plant, and then it takes a minimum 3 years for the fruit to come out. Then thereafter, when the fruit is not utilized, it's a big loss for the farmers and the farming community. So now when we have a winery, we can, you know, at one go we can crush and we can utilize this tons and tons of fruits within an hour. So that way, like, we are indirectly or directly, working for the welfare of the people. That is what government does, right? So we are doing the same thing with the people, with whom we are associated, with the farmers we are associated. And I think what I very much feel that, a lot of many other, we have got how much, 27 districts, right?
27.
So I think in every district, we can have wineries, start with 1 or 2 wineries, because may not be a very big large scale winery, but small wineries where we don't allow the fruits to rot, make a very good good quality wine. And you have got, in every district, I would say there are a lot of foreign tourists coming, not only foreign tourists, but we also have interstate and domestic tourists coming. So winery is one thing where we can really inculcate the concept of tourism.
Like the case studies done on you, you have also been invited by the US government. What was it about and how was the experience?
Okay. So in the year 2021, during the lockdown, we had some online classes for women entrepreneurs, and we were around 200 women from Eastern India, including Kolkata, Jharkhand, Bihar, and no, Bihar was not there. So, like Eastern India, like 200 women, we did some online courses, and finally 20 women, 20 of us were selected to come to US Consulate Office, Kolkata, to come for a pitching again. So we went, 20 of us we went, and then I gave my pitching about my work, and then any sort of fund or whatever requirements like I have shared. So after that, after some time we did that, and when I came back, like I got a call that we have selected you to go for one exchange program, which is supposedly one of the most prestigious exchange program conducted by the US government. So I said, not selected, but apply. So I applied. I simply applied, and then like got selected through, and then again more data, more information is required. We submitted that, and thereafter finally there was like all of a sudden, like we had this from the US consulate, the consul general, Melinda Pavet. I think she's still there in Kolkata. So she had visited Itanagar. She met the governor, and thereafter she came to. She didn't come up to zero. She called me. She said, "Rita, I'm here. Can you come down to Itanagar?" I was so shocked. I was shocked. Like, what is this? And then like but at the same time, very happy. I drove down and I met her, and then she invited me for a dinner, and there were many other entrepreneurs from here, capital, and different people were there. And then we had a very general, casual discussion of how how our state is and how we could progress. Things went on like that, and then I invited, "Ma'am, you have come up to this place, so you can also come up to Zero." At that time there was no flight service there. I said, "Ma'am, you can take helicopter from Nahalgan and then come and visit." So that was obvious thing that I had to do, and I really wanted them because to come and see also, because I spoke so much about our place, like how beautiful it is and all that. So then she had to go back. She went back. Then thereafter she said, "Ki Rita, like we have submitted all the documents, every requirements like that, and then it's the final call from, it's the US government who has to take the call." Then after a week I got a mail that I'm selected, and then to apply for visa. So applied and then went for visa interview to Kolkata, and then I got through, and then 15 hours flight from Delhi to Washington DC. That was it. And we were even before, and I never knew that only 15 women across the globe would be selected to come for that women's mentoring program. So that is actually called US Department of State's Fortune Global Women's Mentoring Program, something like that.
Okay.
So we went, and then we, like 14 of them from different countries, we were there. And then there I saw, like, so we met so many, you know, women leaders there from different countries and different walks of life. So they have mentored us, they have given us, you know, classes, and then we learned so much from them, from 9 a.m. in the morning till evening, like morning 9 to evening 9, like that. So we stayed in New York City for Washington DC for a week, and after it we went to New York City, like that. So each of the women, we were given our own mentors. And my mentor was from a company called Beam Suntory. So you must have heard about Jim Beam.
Yeah.
So so Suntory is a Japanese brand, and
Bourbon, Jim Beam.
Yeah. So Jim Beam bourbon whiskey is the highest selling bourbon whiskey in the world. So then Suntory is now acquired by Jim Beam, so it's now called Jim Beam, Beam Suntory.
Okay.
And then the global the global president for Beam Suntory was Jessica Spence. She was a lady, and then she has she you know, she gave me exposure to the biggest distilleries
Okay.
of their company in US, which is in Kentucky. So I went to that original like Jim Beam where it
Okay.
started,
Okay.
and
The
then
distillery.
yeah, distillery. And
Okay.
then another one is Maker's Mark. I never saw that whiskey here, but that's it's a very famous whiskey, no? So so there, like I went in those two places, and I've seen that they have a legacy of 200 years. Okay, and that was one aspect, like that's one part of my mentoring program, because I saw like how big and how empowering this, you know, this sort of, you know, industry could be. I mean, the alcohol beverage industry could be, because I saw thousands and thousands of farmers, you know, are being incorporated in a sense, like they cultivate grain, and then the company takes them and they turn it into whiskey and all that, and the processing method, and how mechanical, I mean, say how automatic the, you know, the things are there, how big, like that, everything so fully automated. And then I got lost, and you know, I was thinking we have quite a big size of tank, but going there, oh my God, I got lost. And the happiest thing is, like, you know, people out there, they're so humble and they're so good. Okay. And the work culture, I learned, like for us now, we don't value time, nah? Like for example, today I came 10 minutes late. So like that, no, there, you know, the same, I had the same habit. वहाँ पे 5 minutes if I was late, everyone would shout, Rita,
Okay.
Rita, where is Rita, like that.
Okay.
So time ना उन लोग का बहुत मायने रखता है. And then I got to understand about how the, you know, why US is US. Okay, in a sense, like they are very disciplined.
Okay.
To the places that I went. Now from there I could analyze how disciplined and how, you know, they have best of the citizens from across the world. They have, you know, accumulated, they give, you know, they come there, and then, you know, they build the country. That is what. And how the government works, you know, to many extent it's contradictory to, you know, how our government functions here. Okay. So there they work only as a facilitator. They don't own much of the thing, like government factory or a government, you know, something like that. They allow the private parties to do the thing. And also another thing is, like, they value these NGOs and the civil society so much. Now they listen to their voice, and they make policies and rules, everything according to that, like that. So that's how they grow, and they are so disciplined. Okay, and that's what I saw. And yeah, so enjoyed. In between we went for, you know, so many like outings, and then fun moment, like that. And then there also I saw, yes, like, you know, fun and entertainment is part and parcel of life. Sometimes here we forget, no, we work whole day, and then, you know, we just sleep off. That's, you know, rest time, and there's no any kind of, you know, say socializing, like that, no, in a way where it's relaxing, meeting people and friends, like that, no. So there I saw like how they work. The work time is their work, and evening time they go for, you know, parties and this, that, like that, you know. I mean, it was so eye-opening.
And in our last segment, I'd like to ask you if there's anything that you had to say to our young entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so I think the one thing that I would like to say is like entrepreneurship is not so easy, but if you have chosen it, then you should not give up. So for me, I always feel the only option that I have is to not give up. And this value or the conviction, if we have, I feel ki, we all can, go forward, hold each other's hand, and then bring changes, to whatever capacity we can. And our society and our state needs so many of you. Okay, we are, like I'm so much waiting for all of you to join the bandwagon of, embracing entrepreneurship and then, sharing our experiences.
I'm so glad that you came to. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I feel so honored, and then I've lost so many opportunities 3-4 times already. So this was something which I could not miss it.
Scheduling you was a task. But we are so glad that we could have you here in our studio.
Sorry for that.
So with that, we'll end this episode, and thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Tyson Talk Show. Join us again next week, same time, same place.